guys. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about research and when the studies matter, when they don't matter as much, and how you should apply that knowledge. So, a lot of us, we know at this point that one study doesn't really mean anything, or, it gives us a point to study more things, but you can't prove anything with one study. And I think some of the people in alternative medicine, and they get upset with doctors when they show them a study and they don't buy into it. Well, in medicine, that is kind of how it needs to be, because if you have patients and you're liable for them, you can't make recommendations usually based on one study. And I mean, unfortunately, sometimes that is done, but you need years and years of research to back up your claims and back up medications that you're prescribing and things like that. But as far as, within the lifting and fitness community and just in general health, some people will see studies and they'll take it a little too far, but other times people will just shut it down and say, it needs 10 years of research. And if it's just you and you're just trying this on yourself, you might want to go by one study and see how it works for you. You look at things like curcumin or fish oil or other supplements like that, and now they both have hundreds of studies on them, right? And they've been shown to be very efficacious. But at one point, they only had a couple of studies. And there were people who were trying it back then and they knew that they were beneficial for them. So, you always have to look at your own results with something and consider how that is playing into the whole. I would never tell somebody that if they think something's really working for them to not take it, unless they were wasting tons of money or something like that. So that's really important to just consider your individual results with something and why practitioners might not be able to recommend it to you. So, don't be too harsh on those practitioners. But I will also say that there are other things that are completely disproven, and that's when I think, that I'd be less open-minded to. So if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I'm trying this herbal supplement and I think it does whatever benefit that they think it does, I'm not going to tell them, I might say it's not something I recommend, but I'm not going to tell them that they should never take it. If they think it's doing that, then great. But there are other things, and this is when I'm less open to it, would be things like take the food sensitivity test. A lot of people with GI disorders, they will talk about, oh, I took the IgG food sensitivity test. And that has really extensively been proven to be nonsense at this point. You have tons of examples of people sending in one set of blood after another and getting two completely different results. Everyone with a medical background will tell you that those results are pretty much meaningless and it's been disproven. Whereas I think I just saw Martin McDonald, we had a back and forth on Instagram a little bit where he said, you should be more open to things, and his example was organic, and I thought that was a perfect example because right now things like that are kind of up in the air. Same with probiotics. There's so much research coming out on probiotics. Some of it's beneficial, some of it shows that it's not really that beneficial. There's going to be a ton of research on the microbiome in the next 10, 20 years, and we're going to find out a ton. But right now, there's still so much we don't know. And so if you take probiotics and you think they're great, then awesome. But it's just kind of in the air right now. But when it comes to things that are, like I said, completely disproven, where we know this just doesn't work, that's when I think you should be less open to it. So look at the studies, look at if there's meta-analyses on it, then that's even better. And that can really tell you, where to go from there. But my main point here is don't bash everybody who wants to try something, because there could be something to it. Maybe it is a placebo effect, but they actually feel it, or maybe it's just not really that studied yet. And in 10, 20 years, it will prove them right. But if it's something that we've seen time and time again in the research, like I said, the IgG sensitivity tests, I think are a great example where I'm shocked that I still see that brought up. When you have something like that and you can really say, we can push that aside at this point, we know it's nonsense, take that for what it's worth. But anyway, I just wanted to point this out today because I do see both sides arguing with each other, from the people who've been in medicine for 30 years and aren't open to anything, to the people who are just getting into and they follow the naturopathic methods and everything like that. So I just want to touch on this and realize that it's kind of in the middle there, and both sides have valid points, and just try to be critical when looking at the claims that these people are having.